in busy times. Nowadays, more than ever, our lives are clustered. And often we spend our time doing things we have to do and not really on things we actually want to do. But how can we change that? How can we have more time for friends and families, for our passions and dreams? In order for us to have more time, society as a whole needs to be more productive. Unfortunately, productivity growth has been slumping for years, and economists predict that this won't change in the near future. History, however, teaches us that productivity growth comes in times when a paradigm shift occurs in three sectors simultaneously: communication, mobility, and energy. Productivity growth jumped during the first and second industrial revolution. In the first industrial revolution, we powered our steam trains by burning coal. We also were able to spread information more efficiently because we invented industrial book printing. During the second industrial revolution, we invented the telephone and developed all the mobility solutions we have today. Cars, airplanes, we powered them by burning fossil fuels, and unfortunately, at the same time, created a huge ecological crisis. Today, we are luckily on our way to a more renewable and decentralized future in energy. We also have powerful communication devices that fit in the palm of our hands. But since the second industrial revolution, we hadn't had any new significant solutions in mobility. The good news is a lot of people are right now working on this missing link, and we at Swissloop believe that we can play a part by realizing the Hyperloop vision. The Hyperloop vision was first introduced by Elon Musk in 2013. It is a fast, reliable, but most importantly, sustainable long-distance transportation solution that combines the speed of air travel with the efficiency of a train. In a vacuumized tube, so-called pods are able to levitate with speeds of up to 1,200 kilometers per hour. We at Swissloop see the future of mobility as a collaborative. There won't be only one solution that can bring a paradigm shift in mobility. Rather, it is a combination of short-distance solutions, as for example, autonomous cars, drones, and robots, and long-distance solutions like the Hyperloop.
But not only is the future of mobility going to be interconnected, we believe that here in Switzerland, in such a small country, we need to work together too. And that's why we organized Swissloop as a collaborative. We started in 2016 and here at ETH, and now we're actually 4 universities working together, and everyone's giving their competencies to achieve our goal. We're supported by over 50 industry partners, many of whom are sitting here today. And this gives us our startup-y feel and flexibility, while at the same time actually working with companies that have done this for years and whose experience we can use in manufacturing and research. Well, how do you realize a Hyperloop? I've heard many things about infrastructure, there's problems, it's extremely expensive. And so as a student team who couldn't rely on public or private funding in that size, we needed a suitable platform. And we were extremely lucky that in 2015, Elon Musk opened the Hyperloop pod competition. He built the second largest vacuum chamber in the world solely for that reason. It's a 1.25 kilometer long track, and he placed it right next to SpaceX headquarters in Los Angeles. Now, it sounds like a lot, but keep in mind that 1.25 kilometers is just half as long as the shortest runway of Zurich Airport. So we don't have a lot of time to do whatever we want in there. The team that competed last year, that got 3rd place out of over 1,200 global competitors, did so in their spare time. So we all did our bachelor's and our master's. We didn't get any academic credits or a salary. And that made working with the team an extremely unique experience. Thank you. This year, we decided to compete again, and We haven't communicated anything about this. We have worked for 10 months, again, as bachelor and master students. And we would like to show all of you an exclusive preview of what we will present on May 23rd on our 150-meter test track in Dubendorf. This year's pod is about 3.5 meters long and made up by almost 20% carbon in that structure. We have a carbon monochassis, and bolted to it are those blue parts that connect our pushrod suspensions to it. Now, Cassandra talked about levitation, but I talked about a very short track. When you have such a short track, you can't, and a very short development time, you can't rely on linear motors, or you can't develop them as a student team. So that's why we opted for wheels. And those two blue parts that you see there, they were topology optimized by one of our partners. That actually means that retaining the same rigidity, we were able to save more than 20 kilograms of weight. And to just have those two parts, we had to destroy 6 others. And our premise in testing was always, we apply the same forces, and if the thing doesn't break, it's still too heavy. Our pod's heart will beat electrically this year. We built our own in-house battery that weighs almost 80 kilograms and has the same capacity as 1,500 iPhone batteries. Now, we hear a lot about batteries, and we know that the goal is to release energy over a long time. You don't want your phone to run out. But for us, it was actually important to get all of that power in just 10 seconds and to get it out of there without melting wires or melting the battery itself, and in a vacuum. We power 4 electrical motors in each one of these wheels, and each one of the motors produces 100 kilowatt of power, while weighing only 7 kilograms. The whole system has double the power-to-weight ratio than a Bugatti, and that was built by students. Our electrical components are complemented by hydraulic brakes, a clamping mechanism, and a stability system. As soon as we reach our still top-secret top speed, we will engage our brakes and once again outperform modern-day supercars. We'll be braking with 5G, which is about 5 times as hard as a Ferrari, but luckily without any passengers on board. To round off our innovation, we created a sleek and beautiful carbon shell. It uncovers the whole pod and pushes the resting air that is still in that tube around it to reach our top speed efficiently and in style. Each of those wheels, plus the batteries, make up more than 50% weight of our pod. That's because the wheels were milled out of one single piece of aluminum, and they have to be designed up to speeds of 800 kilometers an hour. Now you can see those tires, they held together by over 90 little screws, because we couldn't fit or we couldn't find tires for this application. We're extremely lucky that we're not actually competing in Formula 1 races, because to change a single tire in a pit stop would take us 9 minutes.
Yeah, and it actually also took us 9 minutes to present to you what this swissloop has been up to. And we are hopeful that in the future, in these 9 minutes, we are able to travel to Munich to enjoy a beer with our friends, thanks to the Hyperloop. And yeah, this motivates us to continue our work. Thank you very much.